Today I've got a glass of alcohol, 99% alcohol because it is for pests. This is my Fukien tea, and it has ants and mealybugs, but it also needs a trim anyway. So you can kind of see it's ending up in a sort of windswept style. I don't mind that, but it needs a cut back. It's doing all right, just not doing perfect. So starting off here at the front, and I'm going to drop all these into alcohol because they've got pests on them. I've got coming up, I would say my leader is kind of this one, and then this is a branch. And it's my only branch, really. So I'm going to start with that branch. And let that branch, it looks like I've got a dead stub right here in the middle. That is going to come right off. In fact, I'm going to take it off, put down the alcohol, and then clean up. Well, I'll clean up later. First, bugs. And I've got this branch coming across and down. It's got this weeping part here, which looks like it's got some death on it. I'm not sure if it bifurcates down there, but I'm going to deadhead that. At this. I don't mind these coming out. In fact, I really like that location. Looking at this. I can't tell what's going on down here, so I'm going to give it a little snip there. So I'm fairly certain that part's dead. And again, on the front part here that you may or may not be able to see, I'm going to give this a little snip. In there first, right? Just make sure it's actually dead. Which is so hard to see. I think what I've got growing is growing crotch, so it's just fine. Actually, I'm not sure. I went to the right, yeah, I guess I went to the right place there. All right, if I keep coming out, I've got another end of that branch coming out far. I like it. However, it's kind of departing too much. So I'm going to take that one back. Just here for now. Let's see. Yeah, that's all right. All right, so I've got a little bit going on here. I think I've just got the one bud that's coming out forward. I like that. Got this one on top here. I don't like that. I'm going to take that off. It's not going the right direction. I'm going to hope I get some back budding on this branch here. If I don't, that's fine. Some crotch growth there, but I'm going to leave it in case I can replace something else. So coming up, and I have it coming up. I don't want it coming up, so I am going to take this all the way back. The whole thing on the alcohol. All right, so that branch is pretty much cleaned up. I've got some bottom growth here. I've got some top growth closer in. I'm going to, I don't really have any top growth. The only thing that looks like it could be top growth is kind of coming off the side. So I'm going to take this one flower off. Is that dead? Yeah. Just make sure I've got no flowers on there that are dead. Call it. Yeah. All right, so that branch is somewhat cleaned up. And I'm wrong. You know, I'm going to take off this whole section here and just keep this bottom one here. I think it'd be a much cleaner look. And this tree is doing well. So I'm just going to make sure I don't. Ooh. Hopefully. Lose all the pests that might have been on there. All right, so a much cleaner look now is coming out and then down. I really like that. All right, coming up that some more. We've got, I guess, really the leader for that branch would be this one. So I've got the thick part coming off like this. Got a dead stub here. I'm not going to show you guys that because it's kind of boring. All right, so this one comes down and weeps. I do like that. Got a dead stub in front of it. Ooh, behind it, your point of view. You're looking at the front. And then I've got this limb that comes up and back. And I don't think I need it to come this way. I'm going to cut it back to there. So you can kind of see it illuminate some of the stuff there. It's right here. I think it's nice from a perspective if this is going to end up being windswept. That is headed in the right direction. Kind of fills in the space between these two. This one has a little bit of stuff at the end. All right. Now, let's see. Here comes time for decisions. Do I need them to be that long? I don't think I do. This one I can't do much with because of its length. The one below it, I've got some downward facing buds, so I'm going to take that back. First set of buds. There we go. So that's a lot shorter, this one here. And I like that. I like that shorter. That stuff. If anything, an opportunity to get out, really. I'm just going to go in here. I put mealies and ants. All right. Got what appears to be a dead flower here. Let's see. Yep, dead. I'm just knocking the flowers out of, I'm not cutting anything per se. All right. Then coming out, we've got this portion, which again, I think is too long. I'm going to take it back to, looks like a, we'll find out in a moment, right? Going through that, there we go. There, so you can see what I did. I just cut the end off of this. Flowers. This thing has just been constantly flowering. It's kind of nice. So that helps take that back quite a bit. It doesn't hurt me, but it doesn't help me, this one. I'm going to take it back, kind of Hail Mary, because there's a little downward facing bud there. No, I'll let it back, but I need to leave some green at the end of it. That's is that an old flower? Not old enough. All right. So we've got a nice little part of it here. Already started. This one comes straight up. So I'm going to take that completely off. Doesn't need to be there. It's going straight up like that. There. All right. And the rest of this is kind of thick. And it may be that I should call this the leader. I'm not sure. But I think that it doesn't have enough taper from here to there. And I don't think it needs to be that long. So I'm going to take that whole end off. I'm not going to use my big guys for that. I'm using big guys. So I don't know if I can call this a big cut, but it needs to be done. There we go. So that helps. I just took off branch on that already, but it's all right. I think that's the right move. That'll heal real nice. Did leave some stuff there. Now, coming back on this branch, I got one here. Comes out the back, comes towards this one, which I like a lot. So I'm going to take it back to an inward-facing bud with the hope the outward-facing bud takes off. So I've just shortened that to here. It's easier to see from this side. There's now an outward-facing bud here, inward-facing bud there. I'd love to have all those going that way. Dead stub here, you might be able to see, you might not. Dead stub here, but I'm gonna leave it because it's too close to something else. Come back around. So this one I have not touched yet. I do have a branch going the wrong way on that if I'm gonna make this windswept. But if I can just redirect it back, I won't have to lose it completely. So I can just take it to a bud, this one facing that way. There. Here. All right, so as that comes up, there's a little dead stub up top. And then I've got all this, which is high and kind of annoying and full of pests. I'm going to take it down to this. All those pests in there. Inspect this real quick. I've got an ant trying to avoid death, which it probably will. But... All right, so sticking with that. And of course, I didn't have the intention of making this windswept. It's just kind of how it's been formed already. So that well trimmed up. I've got this one here that comes up. I have a branch going that way, which I like. But again, it's full of pests. So I'm going to take it back. It's got a long internode here. Back and hope that something else grows from there. As much as that was a nice branch, especially from what would be the front, it's not good enough of a branch with that long straight section that I would keep it. So now we're on the leader of that branch anyways, so I'm not going to do any scraping of buds. I do think this comes up too high, so I'm going to take it back almost all the way back. There. I have a little bud right here that might take off that way. I'm going to clean up this stump. So there we go. It's a little better shape. This stump. So it's a little better. Hopefully everything's going that way. I don't mind a little bit of growth down here, but they got to stay short. That's that branch trimmed up. Okay. Not great, but okay. You know what? I've got a bud taken off down at the bottom here, so I'm going to take this one out because I didn't like that branch to begin with. So it's going to go to here. Quick scan, make sure there's no one right here. I know ants are good for the environment, but they're not good for my environment. So I tend to kill them when they're inside my home. All right, so funny little branch, but a branch. This one's very straight, but it kind of weeps there. Let me see here. Let me see if I can clean this up better. It looks better with this cleaned up more. Not much. Sometimes you just got to make these hard calls, and I think this is one of them. We're going to get back to a downward facing bud that's closer in. So now we're back to this guy here. Flower, I think that's a better look. Yeah, it does look better. This looks awesome up here. I just wish there was, more branches like that. Let me look at anything else that's just too straight. This one's kind of too straight. And it's coming up a little high, so I'm going to take that one back as well. And hope that I get, this one taken off and going that way. Ants. All right, take a little break on those. All right. That's how that's looking. I know this is kind of straight, but, we'll do what we can right now. I don't think I need to mess with that because I need some of those buds farther back to take off. So I'm going to take off the growing tip there, leaving one leaf. Risky, but with this plant, I've noticed that kind of works. All right, now we're going to come over to this one. This one's got a big scar here, which I do want to heal, but it also seems to kind of go this way, which I like. Thing is, looking from the front, you can kind of tell it doesn't really follow this way as much. This one might, but really it's kind of doing its own thing. I don't need this up here. I know that. That's just too high. I think that there's a big just clump here. So I'm going to take that off. You can kind of see this comes up now a little bit better. This one's extremely straight. It's just all straight. So I need to take it back as far as I possibly can to head in the right direction, which I believe is going to be right there. That gives me I'm looking at the front here. It may not be as good as I want it to be, but it's better. It's got a branch that'll come off this way. I may end up losing that. Yeah, and you know what? This one, although I did that, some green behind that, the bud's headed backing out. So let's see how that looks. That looks better. One in the very back, that'll add some depth. They're the wrong way, but it'll add some depth. If I can get some new buds coming off the trunk there, I can just eliminate that altogether. dead stone. It's a dead ant. It is now. Very dead. All right. Yeah, I do like the direction that one's headed. See what happens with this thing. I mean, this is the leader, kind of. But I think if I'm looking at the front, which would be about... No, I want it to be kind of there. I don't know. We'll see what happens with the front there. But the front will likely be in a way that it's that way. This top piece here is kind of silly. I'm just going to take it down to here. Think for a moment. As it is now, this was the leader, the tree. This is really what should be the front, you know, like that. I just don't think it's a very pretty branch. This is still very straight right here. Just don't have any good buds headed that direction. Yeah, not as it headed that way. It's also got some inverse taper up here. That might figure itself out. Can't count on it. Cut my losses. Is this a better top? Should I change my plan or just make that the top? And the idea of wind sweeps. All right, you know what? This one just doesn't flow up here. So we're going to take it back even further and see if that helps. Not really. All right, I'm not going to take it all the way off, but I am going to take this back to there. That was kind of a big cut. Now I'm kind of losing my wind spot, you know, but I don't mind it. That's the front there-ish. I like it better now because this isn't interfering with that branch and vice versa. We're sticking from that is the front. Still, you've got. So really, this is my lowest branch. This could be my leader, but this has got that big scar too. I'm wasting time. I'm worried so much about healing the scar and retaining this branch. It's not nice enough to keep. Not with that big scar on it. I don't know how Fukien Tea healed, but this one is going to heal better. Smaller wound. So there we go. This is where we're at. And I think that was the right decision. Come up a little bit. Let's make it more. Let's do that, right? Uneasy. Tree to cut. Ooh. Right. I think that's about as good as I can get that. There's another room down there that's healing. It's not healing quickly, but it is healing. Probably change the planting angle on this next time I do something with it. This. Stubs I need to clean up here. Yeah. This one right here looks funny. I know Fukien Tea don't really have the smoothest trunks, but I'm gonna try to heal some of these bigger wounds a little better. I've been healed. This is a like Home Depot kind of thing, like a department store Fukien Tea. So it's not a perfect specimen. I'm just cleaning up old wounds, you know. I'm good with the calcine. It's just some of it's too all this. I want to expose some live tissue. Felt better. Something permanent. Better. They do seem to heal okay. There's not. Beautiful, amazing healers. Kind of like subpar healers. Oof. It's making prettier. Doesn't suck. Wait for me for just a moment while there we go. That might help that heal better back there. Up front, wherever I want to call that, right? All right. This may need a redesign. And figure out where I had the front here before, kind of windswept. I'm not sure this tree is even windswept anymore, honestly. What I really want is for it to come to the side and then come back towards. So maybe this ends up being a different style altogether. I wouldn't mind that. Right now, I just like the branching I've got. The only straight section is right here. But I don't think I have a way to resolve that yet. Not with how nice the top of this looks. It does have a nice little base too, so I'm going to leave it as it is now. I'm going to let all of these die. I think I've got to down. Give it a little shake and put it underneath of something so it all, perishes. That's not going anywhere. All right. Yeah, I think that's a good update for this. It helped me to get rid of some pests as well. Don't see any more on here. Not to say they won't come back, but all the new growth, I'm not going to spray it. I'm going to water it down, put it back on the shelf. So thanks for joining me. Hope everyone has a beautiful